I'm Heather. And this is Paul. And we set out to sail the world. Well, we have sailed over 10,000 nautical miles, including halfway across the Pacific, just the two of us. And the burning question that we get asked all the time is, why did you quit sailing? And I'm going to get to that, but first, we wanted to share some of our favorite pros and cons of sailboat life. And if you're considering doing some sailing in your retirement travel, then I suggest you stay tuned, because this is some of the stuff you don't see on some of those other sailing channels. Okay, so we're going to start with the pro. Why don't you give us your first?
Oh, and that has to be nature. To be out there in Mother Nature at its finest. I have such vivid memories of that. My favorite time was early morning on my watch at that, when you just be blanketed by the stars, the galaxy. It's just absolutely spectacular to see it a thunderhead, maybe 100 miles out, and it's flickering of light, to see the brilliant blue phosphorescent trails that would follow us.
The dolphins.
It's the dolphins, to have them come up along the side of the boat in the dark and you can smell it. It's just Mother Nature at its finest. And then to be in Anchorage and to see a manta ray come up along the side of our boat. It's just spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'll always have vivid memories of that.
Yeah, there's just nothing like it. And I can say, I think there's no better way to experience nature than being out in the middle of the ocean on a little tiny sailboat. Yeah, very cool. So my first pro is, it's challenging. I love the challenge. I mean, this is something that very few people in the world ever do. And so not only is it a challenge just being out there on a boat and you're hoisting sails and oh my God, it takes tons of physical strength, but also there's this mental challenge. We have been learning about how to do this for like almost a decade. And it's not just learning how to sail, which we did. In fact, we had to learn the whole new language of sailing.
Oh my gosh, did I confuse a lot of sailors and a lot of captains along that journey?
Yeah, it took you a little while to get the right names for the right parts, for sure. But it is challenging. We had to learn how to get visas in foreign countries. We had to learn about currencies in all kinds of different places. And so just this whole entire challenge is what I love about sailing.
Yeah. Another one that to me was something I didn't expect this. I don't think we planned for this when we were starting this journey many years ago, is a sailing community.
Yeah.
This sailing community is absolutely awesome. We met so many wonderful people, and it didn't matter what anchorage we were in or what marina we're in or what country that we were in, for that matter. The sailing community was amazing. They would give you their shirt off their back to help you. They're friendly, having a drink during the sunset. There's just nothing like that in the sailing community. I could just not say enough about. Yeah,
there's no question. I mean, there are people that we met along this journey that have become good friends of ours, and hopefully they will always be friends of ours. Just fantastic community. Now, I will say, yes, I love the sailing community. I really do. But my favorite pro, for sure, is being alone with you. And let me tell you, we were out, like when we crossed the Pacific to go to Tahiti, 24 days at sea with just the two of us. No other boats, no other people, nothing but the two of us. And I will say, it is just my favorite time. We could laugh together, we could play games together, we take it all in together.
Solve problems together. We had our share of that too, and it was the teamwork that we had with each other was fantastic.
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, one thing you learn about just being the two of you, man, we had each other's backs in a very big way. I mean, there were times that I could only rely on Paul and he could only rely on me, and it was fantastic for us. And I love that. I mean, I love that.
I put that. I do too.
I love that. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional here. But while I get over that emotional outburst I just had, if you are a sailor, please comment below. Do you agree with these pros that we're putting out there? And while you're at it, we are just about to get to the cons. So comment below with your cons as well. Well, I cannot wait to hear your comments. And if you are interested in travel in your retirement, then we have a free PDF for you. Click the link below. It's the top 10 retirement travel tips, and it will go right to your inbox. Okay, so now we are going to get to some of the cons, and I will let Paul start.
My first con is the amount of work.
Yeah.
The amount of work that you have to do on a boat like this is amazing. A lot of it is planned work. It's whether it's keeping the decks clean, all the cleaning that we had to do, just general maintenance. It's a lot. And then when you throw in on top of that the amount of unplanned maintenance,
yeah.
and those projects can be big, those projects can be expensive, those projects might require expertise that we don't have or different tools that we don't have. So the amount of maintenance, and don't get me wrong, I'm capable of doing all that. I like doing work. I like pittering and using my hands and doing different things. Yeah. That was daunting.
And I will say that we are not afraid of hard work.
No.
And we knew going into it that sailing life meant work life for sure. But I think in the end, what we realized is it was more work than we expected, and it was also more constant than we expected.
Especially the unplanned work.
Yeah. And another thing that I think that we underestimated was sleep deprivation. I mean, when we went, just the two of us, halfway across the Pacific, it was 24 days at sea, just the two of us. 3 hours on, 3 hours off, 3 hours on, 3 hours off. And I will say that really takes a toll over time. And I think that we just did not understand that constant sleep deprivation, even if you are 3 hours off, you're not really sleeping 3 hours. And you're doing that 24/7 for 24 days. And it just made everything harder and harder and slower and harder. And I think that we probably did underestimate that. So if you are doing a journey, maybe think about having more than 2 people. I know most people do have crew. But having said that, I already told you my favorite pro was just the two of us alone. Yeah. And that was so important to me, and it meant so much to me. So I don't know, I guess in the end, I'd go with sleep deprivation just if we could still have just the two of us.
Now, couple onto that sleep deprivation, my next con was you're always on a heightened sense of alertness.
Oh, for sure.
There is, even if you're not thinking about it at the moment, it's in the back of your mind. When you're at Anchorage and you're 2 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to get some sleep, it's in the back of the mind. Is my anchor dragging? Is there a storm that is going to be coming in at 5 o'clock in the morning? Or when you're on passage, you're always wondering, am I set for the evening? What's the day going to be like? What's the weather patterns going to be? So you're always on a heightened sense of alert. And that adds it adds stress. It just simply does. And that's, to me, that constant, and it doesn't go away. It's 24/7 the entire time you're on your boat.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, there is this constant level of stress. And then that's kind of when everything's normal. Then you add on to it when something big happens. And I already told you I would mention this to you. I won't go into the details, but I will say that as well prepared as we were, and we were very, very well prepared, stuff still happens. And there were times that Paul's life truly was at risk. Mm-hmm. And talk about going from a stress level of here to a stress level of way up here. I mean, his life was in my hands, and there were times that my life was in his hands, and it was just the two of us. And that is just a whole level of stress that I don't think either of us wants anymore in our lives.
Yeah, you have to decide whether you want that in your life. And I mentioned the sailing community as well. We spent a lot of time with a lot of different sailors. Everybody has those instances that really put you in danger. Right. And you have to decide, do you want that in your life? We got through all of it just fine. Right. But again, you look back on it and think, I'm not sure I needed that.
Yeah, and I will say again, after hearing stories of everybody else, it's the norm. It is the norm.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah, and so that was something I think we probably didn't fully appreciate. And the other con for me is that we signed up for boat life in order to go see the world. And it turns out that the boat actually is kind of like an anchor. How weird does that sound, right? You think you have all this freedom and can go anywhere. But the truth is, number one, it takes forever to get anywhere, 2-3 weeks, whatever. But also, you can't just really leave your boat and just fly off to Japan or somewhere like that. Well, you can actually leave your boat, but if you're going to do that, you have to find a marina and you have to make sure it's safe and you have to hire a person to take care of your boat, make sure they're doing all the right things and starting the engines and everything. So there's even a lot of boat work to do, even when you're not on the boat. And I think what we did not fully understand is how much the boat actually became more of an anchor than a source of freedom.
Correct.
And so that kind of leads to, why did we quit sailing?
Yeah. And I would say one of the things that we've learned about ourselves is that we like spontaneity.
Yeah.
We love to be able to pivot and do, if a great trip to Europe comes up, we want to be able to make the choice and then be able to go out and do that.
Right.
And owning the boat kept us from that level of spontaneity that we really like. It actually hampered our ability to travel the world the way we want to travel the world. It had its benefits, no question, to sail and to get out and see nature, just as we spoke of and everything. That was absolutely awesome, but we found it kept us from doing the type of global travel that we want to do.
Right, and when we did finally get to Tahiti, and by the way, Tahiti's absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful.
We were sitting there and relaxing. We really did, have a heart-to-heart with each other about, what are we really after? Why are we really doing this? And we were on the same page, and that is, we wanted world travel. We wanted to see a lot of places. We wanted to see new people, new cultures, new food.
Do it on our terms.
Do it on our terms. And like Paul said, having to stay with a boat really interfered with that. And that is why ultimately we ended up quitting sailing. Now, I will say, we do travel the world. In fact, we just do it differently. We realize there are other ways to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. And so now we do travel full-time in retirement, but how do we do it? We have an RV. We love it. We love our Airstream, and we spend a good chunk of the year doing that. And so we see the beautiful, everything that this country has to offer. And then we also do a fair amount of cruises. And I know that sounds kind of weird, going from your own sailboat to a cruise ship, but I will tell you this, there's something awfully nice about having somebody else drive the ship and serve you food. I do kind of like that. And then the other thing we do is we pack a backpack and a roller bag and we go visit Europe and other countries. And so we have been doing that now for the last year since we quit sailing, and that year has been unbelievable.
Totally unbelievable. Yeah. I will say this, though. I don't think we're done sailing.
Oh, well, good.
I think we may be done owning a boat.
You heard it here first.
I think we may be done owning a boat. But as far as going on passages, if someday maybe we'll be crew for somebody and we'll do another 2-week or a 3-week passage, which will be, I think, a completely different experience for us.
That would be well, and so for those of you, our sailing friends who are watching and other people watching, if you need a couple of people to help you out for a couple of 3 weeks, I'd say,
experience.
Yeah, sign us up. Put us on your list, because we really, really did love sailing. We really did. But in the end, for us, we just figured there was just simply a better way to travel the world than on a sailboat. So I hope that you have found this information helpful, and if you have, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you're interested in following our travels around the world, in fact, I just booked us an around the world airplane ticket, and it spans 4 months and it goes to a whole bunch of countries. Can't wait. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be alerted when that comes out. And thank you for joining us on The Freedom Strategy, where we are unlocking retirement by traveling the world.